What's up, everyone? How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. And as you can see, I'm back in Nicolet National Forest. I'm doing some overland camping. I had some time and decided I'd come out real quick, spend a night, and test out a new product that I have, my diesel heater. So for the longest time, I've been using my little buddy propane heater in the back of my overlanding rig, and that just presents so many challenges. You have to worry about things starting on fire, carbon monoxide, and then you're also burning through propane tanks like crazy. So I decided I'm gonna go online. I'm gonna see if I can find a decent priced diesel heater. I went on Amazon, found a budget Amazon buy heater, and today we're gonna test that out. We're gonna take it out here. I'm gonna show you all the components. We're gonna put it together. I'm gonna give you a couple tips on what I found out works just by kind of starting it at home and seeing what works and what doesn't. And then we're gonna spend a night out here, and I'm gonna let you know just what I think of this thing, if it's worth buying a budget diesel heater on Amazon. So in this video, let's check out my budget Amazon diesel heater. Let's go do it. All right, so the first thing I wanna get into is the actual heater. This is the diesel heater unit itself. It's very light, as you can see, compact. And most people will just store all of this stuff into a tote and put it in the back of their overlanding rig. I want to start out by showing you where the diesel goes. So this right here is your reservoir for your diesel. It's about a gallon, I think, of diesel that goes in here. This is where you're going to fill it right here. And then there's an on-off switch and this nice cutout so that you can see what the level is. As far as power goes, here's your AC adapter. You have your negative right here. This twists on there. Then you have your positive, you twist that one on there, and then you have your AC plug and plug that thing in. And that's what powers this thing. This right here, this big exhaust port, this is your clean air. That's gonna run into the side of your vehicle, your tent. And they give you a pipe, but it's very short. I opted to go and buy myself. This is a dryer hose. I decided I'm gonna rig this. That way I can extend it out further, keep the exhaust from the heater itself away from my truck so I'm not getting those fumes in the back of my truck. I'll put this in the description. I'll put a link in there. You can build it like this if you want. Otherwise, if you find an alternative way to do it, go ahead and let everybody know that in the comments. Then we're gonna get into the actual part of the diesel heater, the exhaust right here, and the air intake. So your exhaust is gonna look like this. It's like a little muffler, kind of like a vehicle muffler. This is the thing that you wanna keep off of any brush, any trees, anything like that. This is also something that you're gonna wanna keep downwind so that you wanna make sure that the wind is blowing it away from your vehicle, not blowing these fumes back into your vehicle while you're sleeping. This air intake right here, this is also part of the diesel combustion chamber. This is going to pull the air in so that the fuel can end up combusting and creating that heat. That's about it. Really, that's it. Now I'm going to hook this thing up. I'm going to rig it up. I'm going to put it into the side of my truck. I'm going to show you what I have rigged up in there. I have a nice system. I'm going to show you that, and we're going to get this thing started. I'll show you some tips and tricks and that, so when you do go in and you start it for the first time, you're not throwing a bunch of codes and saying, hey, this thing doesn't work. So let's go check this out. All right, so you're asking, how did I get this vented in here? This right here is a screen that I created. So I custom made this screen. I'm gonna do a full video on this in the future when I release this, but I am gonna custom make these. If people have, currently, if you have a smart cap, and this is a Tacoma, obviously, the smart cap, the Evo A, I custom made this specific to my smart cap. So if you have one and you're looking for a screen system, something for ventilation, something to keep the bugs out, let me know and I can talk to you on the side and we can figure something out. But this is for another video. I just wanted to show you the heater and how this is ran in there. So now it's all set up. Let's start this thing up. Okay, when you start this thing, you're gonna wanna prime it. Now, I did not prime this because there was already diesel in here. The only time you're going to prime it is when you first buy this thing. You're going to prime it when you buy it because you have to break it in, kind of like a pair of shoes or boots. You need to break them in so that they work well. And then the only other time you're gonna prime it is if this thing runs out of fuel. If you hear that clicking, that is self-priming. So it's doing it by itself automatically. That's part of the startup process. To prime it yourself manually, you're just gonna press these two buttons right here, the down button and the little wrench button at the same time. It's going to ask you, how long do you want to do it for? I just hit 120 seconds, let it do that. It'll do its clicking. After that's done, you press the power button and it'll start up. But right now you can hear it whining, starting up. You can hear the exhaust starting to kick in. Now it might take a few minutes for that to actually warm up and really wind up. Once it gets to that point, then it should be operating at full level. But during this time frame, you're going to be using a lot of power from your portable power station. So make sure that your power is all the way up as much as you can in there, so that way it can utilize as much power as it needs. That's only going to last for probably a minute or two, and then it will lower it back down, and it should run anywhere between, well, on my Blue Eddy, it runs around between 30 and 45 watts throughout the night. So now it's starting to kick in. You hear it winding up. All right, and we have warm air coming out of here. And as you can see, it's now gone to normal operating wattage. Right around 35, 36, 40. It's gonna fluctuate throughout the night. All right, that's the setup. That's how you start this thing up. And it's still doing some clicking because it's still doing its self-priming. That's gonna happen for a while until it gets up to the temperature that you have it preset at. Other than that, a couple tips to follow when you start this thing up. If it does shut off, you may need to go through the cleaning process. Now, the cleaning process is you're just gonna hit the power button. It is going to say CLEAN on the screen itself. What that's doing is burning off that excess diesel. What happens is it might get flooded. Another tip so that it does not throw a code is to adjust this so that it is tipped back a little ways. This is something I researched, I looked it up, and it had said that's what you should do. I did that and it worked. So if you know more about these heaters, if you know more about diesel engines, and if that is correct, jump on here, comment, let me know if that's true or not. I am by no means am I an expert in this. I just do a lot of research and I do a lot of testing just to see what works and what doesn't. And that's what we're doing in this video. So if I'm wrong, or if you have another idea or a technique that works, jump on the comments. Please let everybody know. I would love to know too if there's some other way, just in case it does throw a code. But like I said, I tested a lot of this before I came out to the actual field. I wanted to do it at home just in case something wasn't working, and I threw some codes. So I learned before I came out here, and before you come out, you should do the same thing. Set this thing up at home, make sure that it works, let it throw a bunch of codes, troubleshoot it, and learn before you come out here and have it end up not working. So let it run for a little bit, shut it off. Tonight, I'm gonna top this off with diesel, make sure that my power station is topped off. If I need to start my truck and charge it up a bit, I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna test this thing tonight. We're gonna see how well this performs tonight. We're gonna see if it holds all the diesel all through the night, and we're gonna see if my Blue Eddy is gonna hold up to the power that it needs. So let's go test it out. My diesel heater is up to temperature. It's running smoothly. It's good to go for the night. Full tank of diesel, it should last no problem at all. My Blue Eddy, it should have no issue at all running the fan on this thing. And it's down to single digits right now. And my GoPro is not liking me. It keeps shutting off. It keeps saying it's too cold to be outside. So I have it kind of wrapped up right now. But I think it's time to go in and get warmed up. And I'll see y'all in the back. Welcome to the back of my truck. As you can see, I'm doing some stuff on my computer. I'm actually editing this video. parts of this video. But I wanted you to check this out before I go to bed. Check out the setup, check out how this is ran through. And I just have it kind of hanging up here on this bungee cord. And the heat is pointed towards the front of the truck. So the problem is the back of the truck is not getting much heat. It's still warm, but just not as warm. So with that being said, make sure that you have secondary measures and secondary to the secondary measures. So make sure you have an extra heater. If the heater doesn't work, I have an extra propane heater. If the heater doesn't work, I have extra blankets. If it's bad enough that the blankets aren't working, I have the front of my truck. I'll just go in the front of the truck and start it. But I do have some ventilation. This is still getting some cold air through it. I'm not done with my screen setup, my screen system that I built. I will show you this in a different video once it's completed. I have some things I want to do with it, but I am getting some cold air through that. So this should be fine though. Although that there is a little bit of a breeze coming through here, this heat is keeping it nice and warm in here. I'm not too concerned. I could probably go turn it up a little bit, but I want to keep it a little bit lower just to see how long it lasts tonight. And then in future videos, I will turn it up a little bit and see if I have to refuel it in the middle of the night. If I have to refuel it tonight, you're going to be the first one to see it. I will make sure that you see when I wake up and it is sub-zero and the wind chill, and together we can go out and refuel the diesel heater. But other than that, my Blue Eddy should have no problem at all running this thing all night and beyond that. But till then, I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to finish up my editing and I'm going to go to sleep. So I will see you all in the morning. All right, so it is 5:30 in the morning and this thing decided it's all out of diesel. So what it'll do is it'll shut off and then you'll hear it wind down, and then the fan will run for probably a minute or two. And then when you put diesel in it, you're going to have to reprime it again because it ran all the way out. So let's fill this thing up. Usually I'm up by now anyway, so. All right, that should last another night. All right, once you got diesel back in it, you're gonna have to press the two buttons to prime it back up. The other thing I wanted to show you real quick is how much that it used up as far as energy. As you can see, it only used just under 40% of my portable power bank. So not too bad for all night long. That was about 8 hours of sleep. All right, everyone, thanks again for coming along on this adventure. That was my Amazon budget diesel heater. I wanted to see how well this thing could hold up compared to some of the other models that I've heard of. And this thing held up. As you saw, I had to wake up around 5:30. It ended up needing to be refueled, but I was up a little earlier, so I didn't end up waking up when it was dead. And it lasted all through the night. It lasted about 8 hours, 7.5 hours. I went to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And it used up about half of my Blue Eddy, the power in my Blue Eddy. So right around 700 watts it actually used up. That gives you kind of an estimate of what you're gonna need for power to run one of these things all night long. Now it is right around -3 degrees out right now. Feels like it's -10 really. And because of that, I want you to make sure that if you come out here, you're safe. So have secondaries for the secondaries. Be dressing nice and warm, have extra clothes beyond that. Have more than just one heater. Make sure you have multiple heaters. I bring my propane heater just in case, but also make sure that your vehicle is fueled up so that if you have to go into it and start it up and warm up, you have that option. So yeah, we're just gonna keep making more videos of winter because it is getting colder out and we have so many more adventures to go on. I will put this into the description. You can go on there and check that out. I will put in some of the small things that I added into it so that if you want to add those on as well and build yours out the same way I did, you can do that as well. Remember to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, jump on, chat with me, let all of us know about your knowledge on diesel heaters and what works for you. this is the one that I decided on. This may not be one that you want to do, and that's just fine. Make it for how you want it to work for your setup. So jump on there, comment, follow along, and I hope I see you on the next adventure.